welcome to all the members uh, here in this session. The topic for today's discussion is: Can a nation make progress through its national language? So, this is the topic for today's discussion. And first of all, I would like to know the opinion of Mr. Edu about this particular topic. Mr. Edu, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. We are together.
Okay, okay.
Okay, okay.
So, will you
So,
please
will you please
uh, tell your
tell
opinion about
your
this
opinion
topic?
about this topic? Well, in my opinion, a country, a country can make a progress in its own national language. It's not always possible, but a nation a nation can do that with its own national language. Uh, for example, in my country, our national language is Portuguese. I mean, our official language is Portuguese. We speak Portuguese in my country, and I know that Portuguese is not one of the most spoken language around the world. I don't know in which position I can put this language in, like among those languages most spoken in all over the world. I don't know in which position I can put Portuguese language, but my opinion is that I mean, first of all, I want to agree with this point. Like, yes, it can happen, but it will depend on the way how the people will manage to use this language, or will, like I say, will give value, or will take advantage, or will explore the language. And because with the language we can do many things, we can express, we can do, I mean, we can express and we can do many different things with the language. And it will depend on the way, as I was saying previously, it will depend on the way that we're going to use, on the way that we are going to explore, on the way that we are going to manage the language. And maybe doing that, we may, how can I say, I think my idea is going out from my mind. Okay. But the reason why at the beginning I said, like, not always, not always. It doesn't always happen. It will depend on how that nation, on how the people will explore or will do the will use the language. Will use the language. And for example, in my country, I I don't see it too much. I should use my country as example, or as a clear example to support my opinion or to support my point of view. But I will not use my country because it has nothing to do with what I mean. It has nothing to do with my point, right? I don't know whether you get me. It has nothing to do with my point. Um, okay, let me think first. But I think I have to stop here. I have to end up here. I don't know. You can you can say something about my opinion, but for myself, that's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you so
Edu.
much, Mr. Daniel. You are welcome. Uh, okay, here in my country, for example, I see many people doing something different. For example, my official language is Portuguese, but I can spend, for example, for a day, I can speak more English. I can speak more English. I speak English more than Portuguese because of my friends, my colleagues, my friends, and I speak just a little bit Portuguese. I can speak here just with my family and a few people I know. But the greatest part of my day I spend speaking English. Here in the group, even my colleague from university is they also speak English, and I sometimes make a phone call or I meet them just to chat in English and do many different things. And in my country, I know boys, boys and girls, they they how can I say, they know how to speak English. They know how to speak English well, and some of them they finished secondary school, and they don't with as they finish secondary school, and they don't have something like a job. They don't have a job or a formal job. They just try to look for children. Children can be 10 or 5 children to give explanation just to get some money. You know, to get some money instead of staying stuck to doing nothing, like to close my hands and stay doing nothing. They try to do something in order um, to get money. To get money, and that's great. And many parents, they laugh so much. They become proud of this when they see their children learning English and learning a new language, and they don't think twice to leave their children for explanation. And they do. I mean, how can I say they they use they are using. I mean, they're exploring a language, but not they're exploring a language that's not ours. How can I say we're exploring a language that's not ours? And you see, that's why at the early or at the beginning I said like it happens, but not always. And my country is not one example that I'm going to use to explain it. It's not. I cannot say that. Can I say my country? You spoke about the nation, yeah, but my country, no, I cannot say that. Like we make the correct use of our language. I mean, I'm forgetting well the point. But you're asking like a nation can, I mean, can a language make a nation progress, something like that. But my point was that I agreed with the idea that yes, it can, but I'm not going to use my country as one of the example, but it's possible. But it's possible, although we don't make the use of these to make this progress, right? I guess you have already got my point. I
Yeah,
spoke a lot, and I have to use yeah. And I
yeah,
don't know if and I don't know if I give my feedback according to the topic, or if I'm out of the topic. And I'm speaking, or if I'm speaking things from the other world that has nothing to do with the topic. In case, yeah, you may be. I think you have to analyze and tell me something.
you know, you have spoken very well, and I just wanted to know the opinion of people whether a country or a nation can make progress with its national language. And some countries in the world, although they are not great, I mean the number of those countries are not great, but a few countries in the world have made so much progress by using their national language. And most of the countries in the world use English uh, for their progress. For their progress, they consider that English is the only language which can make them a civilized nation, right? So
Yeah, yeah, right. For example, this is the case in my country. If I could, if, maybe if it was English, I should say yes. I can say my country's explores or is exploring English at the best way, and I've got evidence of that. But say my national language like Portuguese, I don't see that. That's why I excluded my country, like to use my country as an example for that. But if you come to English, I could say yeah, my country explores English. I mean like because English is one of the most spoken language in all of the world and most used. That's why um, if you are referring to English, that's okay, no problem. We use this language. Oh, and not all the people, who speak English. Some of them, some speak. Other are teachers, other are students, other are just people who got the motivation and interest to learn English, and they do the good usage of the English language. They explore it in many different ways, and I see progress on that. I see progress on that. Not only that, but also that Mozambique is an African country, and all most of the neighbors countries that surround in
yeah,
voice.
yeah, exactly, Mr. Adu, your voice is not audible. So thanks a lot. Now I want to know the opinion of Miss Jane. Miss Jane, are you there?
Yes. Good evening to all.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mozambique, they speak English. Our country we call
Mr. Adio, I think there's a network problem on your side. Okay, Miss Jane,
Thank you.
please carry on.
yeah. Hello.
Thank you for the.
Yeah, you can speak, Miss Jane. I've left the split. I mean the space for yourself. You can speak.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Today topic is nice topic. Can a nation make progress through its national language? Language means it's necessary to communicate or exchanging the idea or thoughts to others. So language is very important. As like national language, it's also important for in our nation development and in our among the small groups. It makes a love bonding or something. It's become creating by the our national language, but it's not enough to progress in the international level. National level in our countries we can manage in our language, but in our international level we are focusing more than 7,100 language the peoples are using. So So if everybody has own language, so in our nation's peoples we can't to learn every language. That one unique language become knows to all, means everybody can communicate and exchanging ideas in the international level. So in my perception, national language only needed for in our nation's peoples, and they learn and enjoying in their own ways. But international language, it's more supposed to conveying or taking in a progress way. But education, for example, in our school period, we have a syllabus for our students. That language first priority for our national language, then second one second language, most of them prefer to English, then some maths or science, some other subject will be added. So from the in our traditional ways, in our people, they are known about that language priority. That's why English also added in our subject, but other language is not included. Another one thing, in our nation, every countries, it's not independent. Every countries, it's connecting under the United Nations. So necessary we need one international, one unique language, because in our countries, if sometimes we have lots of issues in COVID pandemic situations, or sometimes we have disaster or some other things. That time we are depending support from the United States, and in our World Bank or WHO or unique UNICEF or some other World Bank, or we depending others. So yeah, we can't to manage in our national language with that in world level voice. So we want to hope up with that guys, means we want to develop our skills as like that our language. So in my perception, national language it's important, but in our progress way we are want to compete in the international level, means want to develop our English skills. Maybe I thought like I say something it's right or wrong, that's I don't know. If anything I said wrong, please ignore it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Uh, Thank you so much, Mr. Jane. Uh, you spoke very well, and I think your points are very valid. For example, you talked about United Nations, and you talked about that your country, whenever there is any disaster, so it has to get help from other global institutes or global departments department as well. So I agree with your point. I totally agree with your point. But I think somehow we can say that if uh, every country focuses on the major national language, they can also make progress, right? For example, there are some problems in underdeveloped countries, that most of the children, they are asked to have command on English language, right? Now there are some problems. For example, a child is asked to learn English, so he has to learn some other languages from very childhood. For example, if I talk about my own country here, because I'm living in Punjab, so my tongue is Punjabi. So when I was born, my parents, they spoke Punjabi. So I was made to learn this language. And then when I went to school, I was made to learn Urdu, and then English, right? So this is a confusing situation for the child as well, because whenever a child has to learn so many languages, maybe he gets confused, right? And English is not my native language, and it's not the native language in India or Mozambique, because we three people from three countries are talking right now. So this situation creates somehow problems for a child. And whenever that person grows, uh, then when he gets higher education, then he is supposed to have command on English language, right? Because most of the syllabus is in English language at the time. And you know uh, since his childhood, he had to learn some other languages, so he cannot make command on English. Although many people are there who make command on English, as their second language, and they talk very well. But not all the people speak English. I mean, um, they are not able to speak like natives. For example, if I talk about myself, so I'm not able to speak like natives, right? Although I'm learning English since my childhood. I've completed my master's in English language and literature almost 7 to 8 years ago. And before that time, before long, I learnt English a lot. Right? Still, I face difficulties because it is not my native language. And my point of view is that although English is an international language and it is the language of science and technology, it is the language of communication on international level. Still, a country can make progress if a country elevates its own language. For example, they can use their national language in their courses. If someone, for example, if I talk about my country, many courses, many professional courses are done through English. For example, if someone has to do MBBS, I mean, if someone has to become a doctor, so he has to read English, right? And many other courses. But suppose if the syllabus is in the national language, so the child or that person, he because he will be more familiar with that language. It is possible that he can excel in that field because he's getting the ideas through his native language, through his national language. I'm not talking about native. Maybe as Miss Jane you talked about that there are somehow 7,000 languages in the world, and if we talk about any country, there are many local languages. Maybe in my country, maybe there are uh, you know maybe hundreds languages. I don't know exactly the number, but you know in every country there is a national language which is prominent of all other languages. Like in my country, Urdu is the most prominent language, that is national language. So if a syllabus is taught in national language, uh, the children will be familiar with that language, and they may have command on their field. And English should also be taught side by side. And when they have to interact with the international community, they can talk in English. They can if they have to trade with other countries of the world, they can use English language. But if they have to do something in their national language, they may use uh, their national language, right? So this is my opinion. Miss Jane, do you agree with this opinion?
Little, I agree with your points.
Okay, okay, thanks. Now I want to know the opinion of Miss Ume Habiba. uh, she's from Pakistan, and I'm also from Pakistan. So I want to know about your opinion that can a country make progress through its national language?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yes, okay. This is a very good topic for today's discussion. Till now, I was listening to all respected members, and all of you, talked very well about this topic. I also want to add something. As Miss Jane, first of all, this is my first live conversation with Miss Jane. So, hello, how are you, Miss Jane?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm also fine. So,
Thank you.
Miss Jane was talking about national language and international language. So, we know that national language is spoken worldwide, nationwide, and international language is spoken worldwide. So, here question arises: how a national language becomes an international language? So, when we think about it or probe into this matter, we see that at any level, when a national language becomes international language, we see that there is always a hard work of the promotion of that language. They no doubt they promote their language, whatever language we are talking about here. As we talk about frequently about English language as an international language, So we know that they also worked great work, worked for it to promote it. As we know that in subcontinent there was a great promotion of English language through academics, through institutions, basically. So I think no country, even developed countries like Japan and USA and other various countries who are considered superpowers, no one country is a developed or progressed country from its first day. So for this to become a superpower or to promote the language, to become to be give a value of their language as an international language, they have concerned a lot about it. So my point is that no doubt any nation can progress in their national language by using their national language. Yeah, no doubt. But there is some measures we have to taken for this regard. In this regard, like first of all, self-reliance is a very important thing. And self-reliance means like in our education system, as you all remember, talked about it, that we should encourage our own language, national language. So I think this is the because we all know that our national language, even whatever country we belong to, our national language consists of a big asset of our cultural values or norms. No doubt they are more valuable, but the lack is there that we are not there to promote our own native language. We are under the influence of other languages, like English language. We talk about more frequently about English language. So they promoted their language, like or this is the need of the hour that we also should promote our own language, and no doubt we can progress in this respect in our and by using our own language. So that's the point. That's my opinion, and we get rid of the influence of other developed countries or superpowers. So that's my point.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Miss Ume Habiba. And I have frequently heard about China. Some people say that China has made progress through the use of its national language. I mean, it is said that they made progress through Chinese. So, what will you say about this? Is it a fact or is it a myth?
Yeah, it is a fact, and we know that no doubt they get freedom after 1 year after the getting freedom of Pakistan. So they establish themselves by using their own language, by their own hard work, and no doubt they promoted their language, they promoted their culture, and now he is standing among the superpowers. And you know that there is a great abundance use of Chinese languages as well in various countries. It is also being taught in even in their institutes, like in Pakistan as well, as a subject, as a language. So yeah, I agree that they get progress by using their own native language.
Okay, so we have the example of China. If we support this idea, then we may quote China. Okay, thank you so much. Now, uh, I want to know the opinion of Mr. Safin.
Yes, Margot. Hello, guys. How are you doing? And thanks for you, Mr. Amir, for sharing this topic. I hope you this is benefit for us. Thanks a lot. My opinion about national language is a language that has some connection, and there is a little use of them. For example, one or more language spoken as the first language in the territory of the country may be referred to informally. And if you ask me about my country, Iraq, there are a number of languages spoken in Iraq. For example, Kurdish and Arabic, and more than in Iraq is Arabic is by far the most widely spoken in my country, and uh, but have many people spoken without, for example, with Arabic and Kurdish, have spoken in English, for example, and another language. But in my native language, just Arabic is the first, and the second language in my country in Kurdish. But I have a note. For example, this native language is independent. For example, when British was not successful when invaded, for example, Pakistan. This is a national language, and this is God has given it to use it, and we are proud of it. This language my God has given. I mean, no one can impose it on us, and this is my opinion in national language.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Safin. And your is Arabic your first language? Mr. Safin, are you
I'm
there?
sorry. Can you hear me, my brother?
Yes, yes, I'm listening you.
Okay. Okay. My native language is Kurdish. Uh, I'm Kurdish talking because
Okay,
I'm Syrian. My region in Iraq. Around me have a many Arabic, and I'm a little. I can speak Arabic, but my native language. I'm sorry, Kurdish. Kurdish. It's near for your information, my brother Amir, and for your all member. My language Kurdish is close, or I mean, is near in Persian. Persian like Iran, for example.
okay. So your native language is Kurdish, and
Yeah.
if we talk about Iraq
In
as a country, so uh, what's the national language of Iraq?
in my country in Iraq, Arabic. I'm told you, my brother. Maybe have 25 provinces in Iraq without in my country. All talking in this Yashar province in Arabic, not Kurdish. Just have three provinces in talking with Kurdish language. But without this province, all people in my country talking Arabic language.
Okay, okay, okay. I got your point that in your area, in your province, uh,
Yes,
all the people speak Kurdish, but
yes, it's
but if
right.
but if we talk about other provinces of Iraq, so the people there speak Arabic, right?
Yeah, it is right. I want for your information in my region have a different culture, atmosphere, actually, weather, for example, and geography. For example, in my country have a many mountain, but another province don't have a mountain. For I mean, like it's a desert. You know, for example, like in Emirates and Kuwait. But in my region have like it's in, for example, Turkey and Iran because. About weather and about mountain and the nature. Uh, but without in my province, don't like, for example, nature and you see can in weather in Baghdad now is very hot, maybe 45 degree. But in my country, I mean 35 degree. Have a maybe a 10 number about in Baghdad and in my capital, my country, Arbi.
Okay, so there are some differences between
Yeah, have a big difference.
your region and other parts of Iraq. And as
Yes.
perhaps you talked about Turkey and Iran, right? You said that your culture or
Mhm.
your culture and your tradition are somehow have relation with Iraq and Turkey. Is it so?
Uh, in my culture in my country is different in Iraq, but is near very near in Turkey and Iran because in the map my location near and near in Iran and Turkey. Between my location in the map, you can see Kurdistan in the map between Turkey and Iran. But opposite in about another, for example, province, for example, Baghdad and Fallujah is near in Syria and Amman because about temperature and culture have a big difference. I mean, this is my opinion in education in national language, my brother.
Okay, okay. Thanks a lot,
Don't
uh,
mention it, my brother.
Mr. Safin. Thanks a lot. Now, I think we have talked about this topic in detail, and now if you want to ask any question from other participants. If anyone want to ask something, so you are free. You can ask question.
Yes, sir. May I ask?
Yeah, sure.
I remember once Mr. Radio talked about cold weather these days in their country, in his country. So I want to ask how many weathers he enjoyed, he really enjoy in his country. Seasons, how many seasons?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you can
How
you
many
repeat?
seasons? How many seasons do you enjoy in your country?
How many seasons?
Yeah,
Okay, I
like
was two. Sorry.
here in Pakistan, we enjoy 4 seasons in our country.
Okay. I got your question. I wasn't. I at first I didn't get it. Yeah, we also enjoy full seasons here in my country. Like we have a winter, like summer and autumn and also and spring as well. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And what season is going on in these days?
Sorry.
What season is going on these days in your country?
We are now in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the summertime
Here
now.
also.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I want to ask you a question to Mr. Mir. Can I?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. So I'd like to know the national language for your country. I mean, is that Urdu or no? Like, what's the national language for your country?
Okay.
Yeah,
The
and yeah, okay. You can answer this. Then I will be asking the second one
uh
because what's gonna make me to ask the second question will be the answer of the first.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Mr. Edu, as
Yeah.
I already stated, that my national language is Urdu.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
it
I
it's
got
it's it's my national language, and it is spoken all over Pakistan. I mean, there are many other local languages, but it you can say this is a language of connection uh, in the country, in my country.
okay. Oh, thanks a lot. Um, you know, I got a little bit confused when you were explaining. Um, I mean, when you were giving your point of view concerned about the topic, like can a nation make a progress on its own national language? And I got confused with your explanation. So now, when you tell me like your national language is Urdu, why did I get confused? I got confused because you said like here USA. I do remember well that you said like in my country, there are. I mean, we use USA like we use too much English. If I'm not wrong, you said something like this, like you use too much English and also there are some school, some child learning English, and you also said that you you make progress with that. You make progress, and at any time of your explanation, I didn't listen to you say like you make progress like with your national language, like using Urdu in many different areas, like to make it progress with this language, right? Like for business purpose or educational purpose, and all that jazz. And you know what I'm talking about. I didn't get this. I didn't get this. Oh, I didn't hear you say something like that. When you talk English,
You know, Mr. Edu,
yeah.
the case of my country is also an exception, right?
Hello, everyone. Hello,
Hello.
Hello.
how are you?
Can I share something?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Why not?
Uh, yes, but in my side, I said something regarding national progress. It depend upon our national leaders. Become it corrupted government, become our nations will be goes down only. Our national economic status level challenges, our share marketing, in all views, it's gone. Maybe if China comes up means become that politicians and I thought that China is comes under military civilization. I think so, but it's not sure. Maybe that way they are getting more progress. It's not depend upon language. Not sure about.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Jane. Actually, I'm not. I was not sure about this thing. I stated that I have heard that China, it is claimed that China made progress through the use of its national language. I mean, Mr. Saad, please, would you please mute yourself for a while?
Okay, good evening. Hello,
Yes, yes,
hello.
yes.
Okay, do you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. What about you?
Okay, I'm great. I'm fine. Okay, oh yeah, continue on. Go ahead. I'm hearing you.
Okay, okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay. As actually, uh, I was answering Miss Jane that I was not sure about whether China made progress through national language or there are some other factors. But I said that I have heard that it is claimed that the reason behind China was one of the reason was the use of national language. So that's why I asked the opinion of Miss Umme Habiba as well. Obviously, I would say this may be one of the reasons that China made progress, but there are other reasons for progress as well. As you stated that good politicians play a vital role in the development of a country, and the role of people is also great. Yes, obviously. And Mr. Adio asked me a question as well. He said that I didn't talk about the progress of my country. So my country is, as I said earlier, that my country is an underdeveloped country. It is not a developed country like the I mean, like Europe or some other countries of the world. It is a less developed country. So that's why I didn't talk about the progress of my country. And besides this, in my country, national language is not given so much importance. In my country, all the official record or communication is uh, done through English, right? As I talked about the use of English in different fields, for example, in medical field, in commerce, in education as well. So that's why I I you know I favor this point that a nation can make progress. This is my personal opinion, that a nation can make progress through the use of national language. But in my country, the national language is not given so much importance. That's why I will say that maybe this is one of the reasons that my country is less developed, that the national language is ignored. And I think that if national language in my country is given more importance, then obviously the people will be familiar this with this language. And if they use this language for uh, doing technical courses or some other courses, it is possible that they may excel in this field, and they may become master in their relevant field, and through this way my country may progress. And last but not the least, I would again say this is one of the reasons of the development of a country. I mean, language, language may play a role for the development of the country, but it is one of the elements. There are some other elements as also which play the part in the development of a country. For example, the role of people, the role of politicians, and the spirit of nationalism. So there are many other things. This is my opinion.
And Mr. Amir, I think the being ignored of Urdu language in Pakistan, I think there is the major fact behind it that English is equally enjoying the status of being official language. So I think this is the big reason. If the status of official language is quit, so I think we can promote or enhance the value of our national language, Urdu. I think so.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, you're right. Okay. Yes, Mr. Edu. I hope that you would not have got my point, right?
And no, no, till now I got your point. I got you explained well, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. Now I think we are now in the same boat.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So my last question, my third and the last question. I won't make a question anymore. Can I? So
Yeah, yeah, sure.
okay. I just want to know the difference between official, national, and native language. Just the difference. I don't know whether they are all the same or there's a small difference between among them. Just one the difference between national, official, or national, official, and native language. Is there any difference between them, or they're just all the same?
Okay, okay. If we talk about national language of a country, so that is related to nation. For example, my nationality is Pakistani because
Okay.
I belong to a Pakistani nation. That's why my nationality is Pakistani. And if I talk about you, your nationality is uh, Mozambique, right? Mozambique.
Mozambican.
Okay, Mozambican, right? So this is your
Right. That's right.
yeah, that's your nationality. Uh, so national language is a language which represents the nation as a whole. This is a language which depicts a major language that is spoken in a country. For example, in your
Like
country, for example, in my country, Urdu is spoken all over in all parts of my country. For example, there are four provinces here, and those four provinces have their local languages. For example, in my province, the language which is spoken widely is Punjabi. And if I talk
hmm
about Sindh province, there is Sindhi language. There is a Pashto language in KPK, which is another province of my country. And there is a Balochi language, which is spoken in Balochistan province of my country. So there is one language which connects people from all regions of a nation, of a country. That is national language. For example, if I go to KPK and I don't know how to speak in Pashto, and if I would talk in Urdu, I would be able to communicate with them, right? So this is national language, which is spoken in all parts of a country. And you talked about native language. So native language, you can say that it is a local language. It is the language uh, which is which may be your mother tongue, right? We can say that it is a language uh, which is spoken in the area where you belong. For example, I can say that my native language is Punjabi, right? Because I am a I live in Punjab, and it's spoken in Punjab. So that's why my native language is Punjabi. But sometimes we may also use it parallel to the national language. This is my opinion, but I think that this is native language is not always national. Sometimes your native language, for example, if your country is a large country and it have many languages, then if you talk about native language, it may also mean that you are talking about a specific area of your country. And then you asked about uh, what was your third question? I think I have answered two of your questions.
Official language.
Oh, yes.
Official language. Right. That's right.
Okay, okay. Official. This is a quite different idea from national and native language. Official language is a language which is used officially, which is used by various departments of any government. For example, uh, if I talk about the official language in my country, so it is English. How is it an official language? Because all the official communication is done through this language. For example, any notification is to be conveyed to the people, so the government uses English as a medium. So this is the official language that is used in offices, specifically in the government offices. So Mr.
May I also add
Yes,
something to it?
yes, 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 please.
I'm sorry,
Um,
my brother Amir. Just 1 minute. I'm sorry, Miss I gotta go because I have a job. I'm so sorry. I can't please.
Yes, Mr. Safin.
Okay, nice to meet you, and I'm happy talking with you, all you guys. Have a good night. Have a nice night. Thanks for your information. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye bye. Thanks.
Thanks for joining this session. Good
Okay,
night.
thanks.
Take care. Okay, yes, Miss Ume Habiba.
Yes, I just want to say something that, as you explained very well about this, the difference among these three, I just want to more add a little bit to it. So, when we talk about national language, we see that national language it works for connecting people, like as you earlier said, but it connects people within the boundary of a country. It works like just like an international language, which connects the people of various countries. So national language works within the boundary of a country, same like international language. And the second thing is native language. Native language is, as you said, that it is a local language. It may also said that it is a local language and a personal language as well. And national language is a lingua franca, which connects the speaker of various languages, and it is a way of it is medium of communication, even though they are not aware of the language of each other. So the third one is official language. Official language is a language of correspondence in offices, or in, you can say it is an institutional language. It is used in various institutions, like in courts, in departments, in offices, for business purpose, like this. So that's it.
Okay, very well done. You have explained it uh, very well. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay, so it's uh, yes, Mr. Edu. So as you were saying earlier that this was your last question. I'm again asking you. Do you want to say something more?
Yeah, I promise that that would be my last question, and I cannot make any more question. I think I have, but I cannot make more question because I promise not to make any more another question. And
I have an offer for you. You can ask one more question.
okay,
Free of cost. Free of cost offer.
okay, okay, it's related to the same point that we're talking about right now, right? Okay, I got well your explanation, Mr. Mir, as well as Miss Iba. I got well, and I loved so much to listen to that. But I'm still doubtful because you said that a national language is that language that is spoken. How can I say? It's spoken in all over the country. I can say, you know, it's spoken in all over the country, a national language. While in an official language that may be used in a specific place, like it can be in a office or a certain institution, something like that, right? And what came in my mind, first of, before you given me this, I mean, before you explain like the difference between national, official, and native language, I thought like a national language and official language, they're both the same, because I just this idea in my mind, like national language is that a language that can be spoken in all over, in all the country. It can be Pakistan, it can be Mozambique, it can be Nigeria, or South Africa. It depends on the country, but that language that is spoken in all over the country, in all over the country, that is named national language. And I've learned that official language, for example, Mozambique was colonized by Portugal, right? In history, we learned that Mozambique was colonized by Portugal, and reason why we speak Portuguese, Mozambique people, Mozambican, ourselves, Mozambican, we speak Portuguese because we were colonized by Portugal. So, as we were colonized by Portugal, and the language spoken in Portugal is Portuguese. We also tend to speak Portuguese, right? We speak Portuguese, and we consider Portuguese as our official language, and it's the same national language. That's why I was a little bit confused when you say like official language is that's just spoken in a office or in a specific place. There is a specific place that may be used. While myself, according to what I learned, is that I mean, according to the knowledge that I got, is that official language for me, official language and national language, they're both the same, according to this point I got. So, what do you have to say about it?
Mr. Edu, may I ask something, just in order to clarify a point.
Okay. You know,
So, so Amir, I just want to I want to know about the concept of pigeon, and as we read in by reading in English literature, the concept of pigeon and Creole and dialect as well. So I just want to know about these things because I think Mr. Adu is the student of English literature as well, or either he's reading about literature, English literature. So I think in this regard he may understand well, but he is not with us now.
yes, yes. You know, Mr. Adio is also somehow correct, right? Because some in some countries of the world, if we regardless of Pakistan, if we talk about some other nations of the world, you know, in some of the countries, uh, official language is also considered to be the national language. For example, Mr. Adio talked about his country. So you know, in his country, in Mozambique, Portuguese is official language, and that's also national language. So this happens sometimes, right? Sometimes we can say that these terms are used synonymously. But
Yeah, exactly.
if we talk about our country, I mean, if we talk about our country, so when we talk about official language, we have associated official language to be the language which is used in offices, or which is spoken officially by various institutions or departments,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. I think I don't know any area, specific area where specifically English language is spoken as a national language. I don't know. Do you know about it?
Sorry.
I don't know that there is any specific area where English language is spoken as a national language. Do you know about it?
No, 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 not in our country, not in our country,
Yeah, exactly.
not in our country. Okay, you know, Miss Jane, what's your opinion about this issue? Because we have, you know, we are talking about official language and national language, right? So, Mr. Edio raised a question that you know, these are both are the same. What about your country, and what about your concept about these two terms?
In our country, its national language is Hindi, but in every state has own language. In my state language, Tamil. In our Tamil state, people are speaking Tamil. In our official language, also Tamil. But some organizational wise and some other specific wise, they are using English. But mostly in our place, they are all people are using Tamil only.
Okay, okay, I got
But
you.
in our peoples, don't know about Hindi. Our national language in our state peoples, it's not in our, most of the peoples are having their own state language only. They know and well about that, but they don't know about that our national language.
Okay, okay, I got your point. I got your point. You know, you also mean to say that in your country, the states have you know, various official languages which are used there, but there is one national language which is Hindi.
Yes,
Okay, so thank you so much. Thanks to all of you, because I think
yes.
I
One
think yes,
one question to Amir.
yes, yes.
Punjab is a Indian part or Pakistan part?
Sorry.
Actually, in our India also we have one bunch of one place is there. Bunch they are speaking Punjabi.
In my country, there is a province, Punjab. So Punjabi is spoken in that province, and I also live in Punjab.
Because in our country also we have Punjab and they are speaking Punjabi.
Okay, okay. You know, in my country, as as you know, you already know that I am from Pakistan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you already know this. And in my country, there is also a province, Punjab, right? And in your country, there is also a province, Punjab. And before partition, both the Punjab were the same. I mean, uh,
Oh,
they were you know, the Punjab, which are now divided into both the countries. I mean, in which is divided between India and Pakistan. In the past, uh, these were not two provinces. That was one province. Punjab was united at the time, so that's why uh, Punjabi was spoken there at the time. But after the partition, uh, Punjab was divided into two different countries, like
okay, I
in
can
India,
catch.
like India and Pakistan. But still, the people at that places, they speak Punjabi right now.
Okay, thank you. I got your points. Because
Okay.
that partition is separated from India and Pakistan, it's Punjab.
Yeah, exactly.
But today only I know that.
Okay, you must read history as well.
Yes, I'm very weak in history, but I thought Kashmir is a separation between the Pakistan and India. That's only I studied in my student period, but I don't know.
No. When a subcontinent, or we can say that the United India before partition, when there was United India, so that was a very great country. And after the creation of India and Pakistan, so it was divided into two countries. And in 1971, our country was further divided into Bangladesh and Pakistan, right? So now there are three countries.
Four countries. I think Sri Lanka also included.
No. If you talk about South Asia, there are seven or eight countries, right? I'm
Okay.
just talking
Yes.
about that particular area which was called United India, which was subcontinent, right? Uh,
Yes.
Sri Lanka is a different country. Nepal is a quite a different country. Bhutan is another country. Maldives is an independent country, and that was not the part of United India. But the current three countries, like Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh, they used to be the part of one country, right? And if I talk about India as well, now there is a province in your country, perhaps Bengal, right? West Bengal.
Yes.
So the people in Bengal, they speak Bengali, right? So
Yes.
In Bangladesh, the people also speak Bengali. So what is the reason? The reason is that West Bengal is quite close to Bangladesh, right?
Bangladesh.
That state is quite near to Bangladesh. So before partition, the people from both the areas, they were the same. They speak the same language. But after partition, they were divided. Still, the people, the people were divided, but the same language was spoken there. So same case happened with Punjabi. The
Yeah.
Punjab was a great province, and the people were, there were many places, there were many cities where Punjabi was spoken. But when India and Pakistan were created, so some people, when the uh, borderline was, you can say, it was created, so some people, they were on the side of India, and some Punjabi people were on the side of Pakistan. So this is the case. I think
Oh,
you have got it right now.
yes. Yes. I got it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining this session. It was a great session, and thanks again. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.